Hello everyone. Meghan, call me Duchess. Backstage Farce falls into madness. Nothing that comes out of Meghan's mouth is trustworthy. She talks a lot, but does a lot of bad things, especially not like what she says. Did any of you watch the video here and accidentally believe Meghan's words? If so, my condolences to you. There are things we can ignore, but in Meghan's case, there is no way to repent. Her bad deeds are so many that counting them by the toes and fingers is only one part per thousand. And I've mentioned this a lot on the program, but I did find it very unusual when Meghan Markle made that foolish comment during that now famous Oprah Winfrey conversation, all about how, titles didn't mean anything, and she was accustomed to seeing celebrities. I found it very strange, because I was used to seeing celebrities. Here is a 2-bit actress who had a little role in a cable TV series, and all of a sudden, she was being treated as if she had a vested understanding of everything that was going on in Hollywood, including how she had mingled and mixed with the filmmakers and shakers. On the other hand, it would appear that Prince Harry truly purchased it. When he first saw Meghan, he reportedly stated, "Look what I've got," as if it was some kind of trophy or something. If you remember well, he said this, and I am aware of this, as I have said to you in the past as well, that this tale that he included in the book, about how William and Catherine were enormous fans of the television show Suits, which is an absolute carbuncle. It is true that nobody in this area was aware of the existence of that show. Yet, it is obvious to her ego that this is a contributing factor to the issue. Now, as one would guess, the recent interview with Jane Pauley was one of those situations where you can realize that she has been around for a while. She is one of those recognized journalists who doesn't necessarily play the game, but she manages to go around it with this really effusive charisma that she possesses. Really well-groomed, put together, and that kind of thing, among other things. Things, however, continue to come out of the shadows behind the scenes. In addition, I find this specific one to be quite wonderful. The CBS item, as I mentioned before, did not really do well at all, even in terms of ratings, and it was a bit of a fiasco altogether. On the other hand, I thought this to be pretty amusing behind the scenes. You see, the team, the new team that is bringing these two back into the public sphere must be having a difficult time. Mainly due to the fact that, if you recall correctly, they did not necessarily like to make use of their titles, or even be known by them. You comprehend. Simply address me as Harry. It took a turn for the better, didn't it? This was brought to your attention in the courtroom the previous year, when they made the error of announcing him as His Royal Highness, the Duke of Sussex. Did he not express any disapproval of that? The phrase, "Oh no, you don't need to say that," was not spoken by him. This is the issue that they are looking into. Now, what transpired during the primary interview, which was shot independently, to what they refer to as the B-roll, which includes the footage where they met people and other information of a similar nature. Having said that, it is only logical that Jane would refer to them as Harry and Meghan, and it would appear that anything like that did not go over well either, because Meghan, as always, was of the opinion that she ought to be in the lead. Simply put, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? You are thinking to yourself, wow. Nevertheless, what transpired was that they had the opinion that their titles needed to be exhibited and utilized. Therefore, the narration that you heard was a subsequent addition to the video. In the initial narration, it appears that Harry and Meghan are the only characters. This is due to the fact that in the United States of America, and you can verify for me on this, people are familiar with them through that name. The title of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is not one that they use in communication. On the other hand, Meghan and Harry nearly exploded with a gasp when they said, "No, our titles have to be used." If you look at the strapline, you will see that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are spoken over. This is how the information is presented. Nevertheless, Miss Pauley once referred to them in that manner over the course of the interview, since she had been informed that everything is conducted in a very casual manner. It is sufficient to just address them by their names, as they are members of their own office. Indeed, there was a complete breakdown of communication. However, what does become apparent is that they are holding to the remaining vestiges of the monarchy by clinging to those titles, regardless of the circumstances. It is always a good idea to share, and I ask that you comment, like, and share this post while maintaining a courteous attitude. Meghan should remember that it's not titles that get you protection. It's being a working royal, which they were still when Archie was born. Additionally, regarding the skin color conversations Meghan talked about, Harry's version was different. Harry told Oprah that it was one conversation about future children before they were married, so it wasn't even about Archie. In Harry's book, he claimed it was about his red hair, not skin. He retold what he said to Camilla and the then Prince Charles, no Catherine, that any children they had wouldn't have his red hair due to Meghan's genes. He said that, "Do you still believe that Princess Eugenie was ever her friend prior to meeting Harry? Think about it. How on earth would she know Princess Eugenie? Meghan was living in Canada then, and there's no way they'd move in the same social circles." Not only that, but in his book, Harry told about how he first introduced Princess Eugenie to Meghan in Nottingham Cottage. When they were going out, he was pleased that they got on, and thought, "I hope meeting the rest of the family goes as well." Harry introduced them, and he wrote it. Meghan told a lot of untruths, let's say on Oprah, because she knew that the British royal family weren't going to say anything, not even Harry. Sarah, Duchess of York, did admit that she didn't know Meghan when someone asked her last year, even though Meghan claimed otherwise. She said that she'd only met her briefly, and that was in the time they'd been married. "Sorry, but I don't believe they were ever friends, only very loosely through Harry." But yes, other non-working royals don't receive taxpayer-funded security, so if they want it, they have to pay privately. Harry should be no different. I think the princess title for Catherine must be so envious of Meghan. Now she wants her title back. Referring to them by their titles violates the agreement not to make money off their titles. They should be stripped of the Duke and Duchess. Plus, it is America, they don't have titles. They can respect that Harry is a Prince of England, but to cling to a title when you're determined never to return to England is plain stupid. Meghan really is so full of herself. She really thinks she deserves this treatment. Our Catherine, the Princess of Wales, would never be so vulgar as to insist on being called ma'am, neither would any of the other senior royal ladies, of which Meghan is not. The only royal addressed this way was Her Majesty, the late Queen. Delusions of grandeur are a symptom of narcissistic personality disorder. It's absolutely ridiculous that an American citizen who feels that Harry's family is filled with racists in a racist kingdom would want anything to do with royal titles for herself and the children. That's a big reason why she's disliked there. Plus, they're childless due to her hysterectomy and complications from abortions in 2009. Pregnancies and miscarriage, a fake, using child actors as props for publicity stunts and benefits, and exploitation and elder abuse, plus prince and princess titles in the line of succession. Falsely, it's criminal fraud. Most of the United Kingdom calls him Harry, or even a bad word. We class Prince William and Princess Catherine and their 3 little kitties, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, a regal family, King Charles and Queen Camilla, the Princess Royal, and Edward, and Sophie, Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. There are a lot of minor royals. They are the real royal family, and none of them expect anyone to call them by their titles. They are classic and classy, something the other two will never be. For someone who hates the royal family and all they stand for, she sure likes their titles to make money. They are such a hypocritical pair. Of course, she had a fit and demanded the use of the titles. She realizes that without them, she's just another face in the crowd. What she fails to realize is that in America, her gifted title means nothing, and people really resent the fact that she's constantly shoving it in their faces. If they want to flaunt titles, let them go back to the UK and do it. Please don't send them back to the United Kingdom. She wouldn't leave the United States. She wouldn't be with the Listers. Doria was given money from the king. That's how rich they were. Never even say a thank you. In my opinion, the mother, who wasn't around for 10 years, is a grifter. Maybe she is like her mother, hiding away from the so-called invisible children. In the US, using their titles the way they do sounds and looks pretentious. They are Harry and Meghan, simple as that. They aren't royalty popping over to visit. For all intents and purposes, they are US citizens, raising their children to be US citizens, and they don't have or use titles in the US. America literally fought a war over it. The reason Americans enjoy overseas royals is because it's enjoyable to see people with titles and money actually doing work and lending their names to good causes and worthy projects. They like a bit of royal stardust now and again, but if Harry and Meghan choose to live in the States, then the titles are just snobbish nonsense, especially when the people attached do more whining, bullying, and defaming than actual work. In short, nobody cares about their titles, their polo, their problems with money. In America, everybody is treated equally, and why should they have certain differences? They left the monarchy and wanted no part of it. Bunch of hypocrites. Go live in a British Commonwealth or the United Kingdom if you want that. Harry, go read the Declaration of Independence. It's all explained in that. Actually, in America, very few people refer to them at all, because most people either don't care or don't know who they are. They aren't even making the covers of tabloids anymore. They've moved on. The National Football League preseason has started. They are in an election year. School is starting back for their kids. People who work don't really have time for rich, pampered, self-indulgent celebrities. They are yesterday's TV reality stars. They had their 15 minutes of fame. Pathetic. Meghan, hopefully, they will never get another chance to lie again. Let's boycott them completely on all fronts. Do you agree? Thank you for watching my video. I hope to receive more love from you by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Goodbye, and see you again.